Hello people, welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is from Matt Walsh. It's titled Chiefs Cheerleader Goes Viral for Being the Most Obnoxious Person on Earth. I'm super excited to be checking it out with you guys. I'm dropping my thought during the course of this video, and after this video, please like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell. Do not go anywhere, so watch till the end, okay? And yes, let's get straight into it.
As mentioned at the top of the show, we have now entered the second week of an outrage cycle centered around an NFL kicker who gave a speech to Catholic students where he articulated some very basic Catholic teachings. I've already explained why this outrage is extremely stupid and totally baseless and mostly fake. Worst of all, though, it has brought out the most insufferable people on the planet. This steaming pile of fake outrage has attracted the loudest and most irritating sorts of flies, metaphorically speaking, metaphorical flies. Enter Stephanie Hills, a former cheerleader for the Kansas City Chiefs. She has put out two very viral videos attacking Harrison Butker for his speech. Headlines on the New York Post and Yahoo Sports tell us that she went scorched earth with a, quote, scathing takedown of the kicker. And it is true that she is scorching something, but it isn't the earth so much as the eyes and eardrums of anyone who watches one of her videos, which is what I'm about to force all of you to do, just like you were hoping. Brace yourselves, here it is.
Hey Harrison, you know, we have several things in common. First and foremost, until a few months ago, we were both employed by the Kansas City Chiefs. I cheered you on for 6 years straight. And with that, I would assume we went to the same PR training. But since all of that obviously left your brain when you went to go give that speech, I thought I'd be a good coworker. Share my notes. Let's get started. These are fake. Biggest takeaway is you now represent $1 billion organization. You are no longer just Harrison Butker. You are now Harrison Butker, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. And anything you say or do that doesn't align with that brand, scissoring just like the lesbians you hated in that video, will be grounds for termination. Not entirely sure if that last part is gonna apply to you, but I guess we'll find out. A quick minute to dissect some of the language in your speech referring to abortion, IVF, euthanasia, and surrogacy as degenerate culture values. Do you see how that maybe doesn't align with the brand COVID fiasco? Now, I would assume you know what fiasco means, but just in case you don't, you're referring to the pandemic as a humiliating failure. You know, we had an entire PR training on COVID, bro. We weren't supposed to talk about it.
That was rough. That was very difficult,
rough.
But we endured it. We got through it together. It probably felt like I was exposing you to far more of that radiation poisoning than was necessary, but I needed to show you all that in order to make the point that I'll get to in a moment. And that was not the entire thing. She goes on that way with that grating tone and aggressively smug and unjustifiably self-satisfied demeanor for like 3 minutes. I cut it off halfway through, which was an act of mercy on my part. Now, she did record a follow-up after that video racked up 4 million views, and you really don't need to see the follow-up, but here it is anyway.
I put on a blazer and my finest jewelry in case any of the national news wants to use this and air it without my consent. My video dressing my favorite former coworker, Harrison Butker, has popped off. And I'm about it, because now I am a voice for the people that he attacked. And since the mainstream media is going to use whatever content they want, I thought I might as well dress up and give him a formal speech.
Anyway, we'll just cut it off. It goes on and on and on. And that's enough of that. A man can only take so much. Of course, she's acting like she doesn't want the media to report on the videos that she posts on a public platform, which is why she made a second video addressing the media titled, Hey Media. Because that's what you do when you don't want the media to notice you. Hey media, hey over here. Hey media, hey look at me media. Look at me. Hey, why are you looking at me?
So it's like she's calling for attention. You get what he means? It's like, when she made the first video, probably she didn't get as much attention as she wanted, and then the second one, she tried to gain a lot of more attention. Anyway, let's continue the video.
Stephanie seems to be conducting some sort of scientific experiment to see what happens when you combine all of the most unappealing personality traits into one individual, which is why she's added disingenuousness to the pile. The results of the experiment are unfortunately not as dramatic as you'd hope. It turns out that a human being with every negative personal characteristic does not collapse like a dying star and turn into a black hole that consumes everything around it so that even light cannot escape its gravitational pull. Instead, they just make super lame TikTok videos. And as for those videos, there are a few things that Stephanie doesn't seem to understand, a few points of confusion. So let me clarify them for her. First of all, she says that Harrison went to all the same meetings as her and is subject to all of the same requirements as her because they're quote-unquote co-workers. But that is not a safe assumption. He's an actual player on the team. Now, I know she probably didn't understand what was happening on the field while she danced on the sidelines, but so I'm going to fill in the blanks here. Harrison Butker is one of the most accurate field goal kickers in NFL history. The team has won games, lots of games, including playoff games, including this most recent Super Bowl, where he set 2 Super Bowl records in the same game because of his kicks. He went 11 for 11 in this last playoff run. 11 for 11 means that he kicked 11 times and he made all 11 of them. So the point is that he is an indispensable part of the team, and she is or was an interchangeable cheerleader on the sideline. So he's not getting fired for this.
So there's a difference. She called them co-workers, but he's an active team member. He's an active team member, and she is like a cheerleader. So their positions or their place is not the same thing, and he can't just easily get fired, right? So we're just trying to understand where she's coming from, which I feel like before we make our conclusions or make comments about it, it's important that we try to understand the point of view. Let's continue.
Even if she would have been fired for doing the same. And I don't know if she would or not. And you could call that patriarchy if you want, but it's more that, again, the team depends on him to win games. They don't depend on Stephanie for literally anything at all. She could be replaced with one of those inflatable wavy arm things outside of a car dealership, and the product on the field would not suffer at all.
Do you see the difference? She can easily be replaced by anything, right? She's a cheerleader and he is like an important part of the games. So that she can't compare her position or her place with, she can easily get fired. He cannot easily get fired. So that's why I feel like, yeah.
In fact, it would probably be an improvement. Second, let's note the argument that she's making here. She isn't even attempting to explain why he's wrong about anything he said in the speech. She can't explain that. She doesn't understand the issues well enough to make any sort of coherent argument. Instead, she insists that he's hurting the brand and blatantly defying the regulations set down by the Kansas City Chiefs HR department. She's playing out some kind of strange fantasy where she's the HR director condescendingly lecturing Harrison for not following the employee handbook. And I'm afraid that this says much more about her than it does about him.
Yeah.
She has very proudly announced to the world that she thinks the brand and PR considerations should trump intellectual integrity and open dialogue. Now, I'm not surprised she feels that way, given everything else about her, but it is somewhat surprising that she would announce that to the world without realizing that it makes her the bad guy. Apparently, her greatest dream in life is to be an HR rep in a pantsuit, firing somebody for expressing unapproval.
Why does it sound so demeaning? Why does it sound like being an HR is not a great job? He said it like, oh, her greatest desire in life is to be an HR, firing and hiring people. Why? I don't know. Just for me personally, it just sounds more like, I don't know, it just sounds funny. Let me know if it sounds funny in your ears too.
Unapproved opinions. And the problem is that HR departments across the country are filled with women just like her, the type who relish the power that they have over other people's lives, however limited that power might be. Now, the difference is that they actually have the power. She's playing pretend HR rep like a child playing house, which is maybe the saddest display I have ever seen. Now, third, finally, a little bit of a personal note. And I say this because I'm concerned about Stephanie. I have no ill will towards her whatsoever. I want her to live a happy and healthy life. I don't want her to die alone with only her cats to comfort her. And that's why I have to inform her that men are totally repulsed by smug, condescending attitudes in women. Like, this is the personality trait that men, all men everywhere, find the most off-putting. Okay, you might think that it's funny or cute or endearing, but it's not. It's disgusting. We recoil from it instinctively. Our aversion to it is deep and visceral. So if you're a woman and you want to turn off as many men as possible, just be sarcastic, smug, and condescending. And it's not just men. People in general find that kind of personality to be extremely gross and repugnant. Although perhaps I shouldn't really call it a personality. It is indeed the absence of personality. She's very animated and makes lots of exaggerated gestures and facial expressions. But underneath all of that is a bitterness and narcissism and shallowness that the histrionics cannot sufficiently compensate for. Now, I'm sure that she has people in her life that tell her that she's funny and extroverted and she has a big personality, but that's because they don't have the heart to tell her that what they really mean to say is that she is the most annoying person they've ever encountered. And her patronizing attitude fills them with a deep disgust. They won't tell her that, so I have to. And I hope she takes it to heart. In the meantime, Stephanie, the former Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader, is today canceled. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full
What if Stephanie doesn't want to get married? What if she doesn't want to have a man? What if she just wants to stay single with her cats and dogs? Anyway, do you guys think Stephanie has a bad character, personality, or attitude? I think personally, it's not even a man thing, or it's not because, okay, you want to get married or you want to be with a man. I think to everybody, like, your character is just stinking and disgusting and very annoying. And if you think that's a good character, then you have a problem. You just have to find a way to fix it. What do you guys think about Stephanie's character towards this particular video? I think that Matt Walsh has a lot of things to say about her. He feels like she needs to get better character-wise. If she wants to have a man, she has to get better. Men do not like women who have that kind of attitude. I mean, he mentioned a lot of disgusting attitude that she had, but I mean, what do you guys think about Stephanie's attitude? Yeah, what do you guys think? Please drop your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, and turn on your post notification bell. We'll be in the comment section, talking about this and addressing this more in the comment section. Do well to like this video, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.